Hello and welcome back to Educator.com's jQuery and AJAX course. I'm Toy, and today we're going to be talking about jQuery elements and traversing elements. Now, FYI, if you don't know about elements by now, you need to go back and review because we did a whole bunch of work with elements and you should be pretty solid on that. Elements are anything anything on the page that are portions of the page, such as like a div or an image or a checkbox. And just to get our terminology straight, if you have a group of checkboxes, they are part of a collection. The reason why you need to traverse through elements is so that, especially if you go into a collection, you know which element you're talking about. This is especially particularly useful when you have a user on your site clicking checkboxes, hitting off radio buttons, clicking, rolling over links. You need to know what they're doing so you can hit them back with the appropriate information, the dynamic information. So just to give you a quick review, again, what is the DOM? The DOM is super important. That's what builds the page. The DOM is that part of the, if this is the page, and you see if you actually look at the page source, and it starts off with HTML, and it ends with HTML. All this is the DOM. Those paired tags and that tree, the tree that builds the page. It starts off with the browser, okay? So, for example, the DOM keeps information on what browser you're using. Super important. You know, when you start building sites, you want it to be cross-browser compatible. You need to know what browser that they're on and how to adjust for it, because not all browsers are built the same. Microsoft. All right, we won't go into that. From the browser, the object underneath that is the window. Now, if I were to go look at, for example, my browser, this is my browser here. I did that on purpose so you could know that we're looking at it. This is the browser here. Okay, so the DOM contains every part of this browser. When I talk about a window, we're talking about these are windows, individual windows. So as you see, windows are a subset of the browser. All right? And then underneath the browser is the document. So everything in here is the document. Okay? And in the document, once again, then you get to this point where you have all of this stuff here. All your HTML, your head, your body, all that kind of stuff. Those things inside that stuff that I keep talking about, those things inside this HTML tag are the elements. The elements, and again, the proper HTML structure demands that when you close a tag, like an ahref equals blah blah, you must, when you open a tag, you must close it. Okay? Now, you can access these elements within the document using this format. It's object format, object-oriented format. First you call it document. Document is the global variable for this stuff. This is the document right here. And if you were looking for the form that was in here, say that the form was here, and you've got your text box and your radio buttons and your check boxes and then your submit, everything inside this would be the form. And then you can traverse and find out elements within that form. So in this particular case here, I'm looking at the document. I'm looking for the first form on the page, because once again, JavaScript is a zero-based language, so 0 means the first form on the page. Lots of times, especially if you start getting into more complicated sites, you have multiple forms on the page. You have a page for your search, you have a page for a call to action, you have a page for a contact. You have a form for a contact area. So that's already 3 forms on one page. So in this particular case, we want to look for the first form, and within the first form, we want to look at element number 5, which might be, I don't have an element number 5 here. But if I built one, let's say if I built another, if I built a text area, then this would be element number 5, my submit button. Okay? Once again, the definition from Wikipedia: browsers are not obligated to use a DOM in order to render HTML. Right? I don't have to use that standard HTML kind of format. I don't have to put stuff all in nice, pretty HTML DOM specific language. However, the DOM is absolutely required in order to be used by JavaScript, and therefore jQuery. So it's really great to know your HTML structure and make sure that you produce HTML in the HTML structured manner. Okay? Having said that, let's get cracking. Okay? Now, one of the most useful methods in jQuery when you're trying to traverse elements, and when I mean traversing the DOM for elements, we're trying to look for something. All right? Say we don't know what the class is, because the class or the ID is, okay? Because perhaps all this stuff is completely generated by the PHP page, and you have a severely nested item. So we use has to, as we're traversing the elements and traversing the tree, because the DOM tree looks pretty much like a tree. You have stuff that are nested underneath each other. Nested within each other, and you nest, and you nest, and you nest. As we're traversing this tree, we might need to check if something has an element or does not have the element in there. So if I'm in the form and I say, and it's like a standard login form, and I ask, does it have? I'm looking for a text area in this form. Typically, login forms don't have text areas, so it's nice to know that, oh, that's not the form I'm looking for then, if you have multiple forms on the page. So let's go ahead and test it out. Let's try it out. Okay, as with the other lessons, this I've set up the code, so it's a typical play area here. Typical play area of elements, and then over here, the links that we use to control the elements, and therefore play. All right, so the first one, our first objective is here. Has. And let's go to the site. Show me the LI that has a UL. Now you'll notice here, this is what we're playing with today. We're playing with a UL with a bunch of LIs. Now, these are all obviously line items. You don't necessarily see the UL listed, but they're here. Because the UL is just kind of like the collector. So it doesn't actually have a visual rendering. All right? So the question is, show me the line item that has a UL. Basically what that's asking is, show me an LI that has a sub UL underneath it. kind of like you could use in a nested menu, a hierarchical menu, a nested menu. Okay? So how would we do that? All right. Here we are. Let's get the ball rolling. Here we are. I've got the once again I've got the jQuery ready for us in JavaScript, and let's say that whenever anyone clicks on the has a link, we want to find the LIs that has, hit me all the LIs that has a UL in it, and surround that with an orange border. We're back to the orange border. Back to the obnoxious orange border. Okay. Awesome. So go to the LIs, find all the LIs that have a UL, and if they do, then surround it with an orange border. Let's try it. Let's refresh that. There we go. This LI here, this line item 2, obviously has a UL, and this line item B also has a UL. So it does exactly what we want to do. All right? So let's move on. Find versus closest. Now you're going to use find and closest a lot. That's why it's up here as one of the premier methods. Okay. You can do a find. You can hit the method find and say find me a LI. It'll find you all the LIs. It'll return you all the LIs back. So this way you don't need. You can get a multiple collection back, and they're not really collections, but you can get multiple elements back at one time. You can get one element back at one time if you want to be specific. Same thing with closest. You can say closest LI, give me the... Now what's the difference between the two? Okay, so say we have this this UL here. Okay, the difference is that find only works down the tree. All right, if I'm here at 1B and I say find me the closest find me in, a UL, it's not going to find anything because find goes down. Finds descendants. Finds children. Let's call it that. Finds all your children. Since 1B does not have any children, a find will come up nada. Find equals nothing. Closest, on the other hand, looks for parents and grandparents and great-grandparents. So if I did a closest closest LI off of 1B, I would find, if I did a closest UL off of 1B, I would find 1. Closest equals parents. So find equals children, and closest looks for parents. Okay? Let's try that. So let's do this. Find the LIs. the objective is to find the LIs inside 2. This is 2. So you want to find all the LIs inside 2. Now again, if we're talking about inside, that means we're looking to do a find. Okay? We're not looking outside. We're looking inside. So, which is all the children. So let's do this. J, find all the LIs. What was it? Inside 2. Okay. Line item 2, by the way, is line item 2 is here. Li dot find Li, and we're going to give it in, once again, orange border. All right, let's try that. There you go. These are all LIs inside line item 2, including these, the sub-LIs. Remember, it finds all the children. Doesn't find just the first level of children. It finds all the children within itself. So show me the closest LIs from 2, which means outside of 2. And I think that one's called closest. So if we're going outside, there you go. Closest, by the way, includes itself, which is why that works. Okay, it doesn't because line item 1 and line item 3 are just siblings. They're not actually parents of line item 2. They don't show up. Okay, so it picks itself plus parents and grandparents and so on, etc. All right, so the next one we're going to look at is each. I love each. Each is awesome. So, for example, say we're going to do this here. Show me the closest LIs from, oops, wrong one. Find the LIs inside 2. All right, well, it's going to return me back a set here that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. For each of those 6 elements, I can do something. All right? And we do something, we adjust that, we manipulate that by using the method each. I think this is each A. Let's just grab it just to make sure. Yep. Each A. We click on that. All right, what we're going to do is find me an unordered list, find me a line item in that unordered list, and in fact, find me a line item that's under that original line item. So if we're going from the UL, which is the parent, we're going to get the child LI, and what we really want is the grandchild. Okay, oops. And for each grandchild, we're going to do something. Oops, I'm missing a quote. We're going to what is the requirement here? The requirement is pop me each sub-LI. Okay. That's crypto toy lingo for just alert, just pop up, give me a pop up with the name of each grandchild. So we're going to do this. Important, important, important. I know we've touched upon this before, the usage of this. Even more amazing now that you can, now that we're actually touching upon each. So, say for example, I return 6 items. I've got 6 items here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It found the 6 items I want. Now for each of them, I want to do something. And as it's rotating, each already implicitly implies in jQuery, or implicitly implies you're going to rotate through each one of them like a loop. It's going to loop through each item in that returned set. You specify the current index of what it's working on with the word this. Okay? So as I loop through my each, my first thing I loop through, I'm looping through 1. And I can designate that 1 without just by using $J this. $J this. Then when I finish doing stuff on number 1, I want to do that same thing to number 2. Okay, so each pops up number 2, and this is an elegant way to kind of just keep the index and the counters working as you're looping through all of the elements that each has returned you, that you've selected. So that's why when I say this, get me the grandchild Li, get me all the grandchildren Li, and for each of them, pop up the text inside of the Li just to make sure we know what we're talking about. All right, so let's try it. Oh, wrong one. Pop me each sub Li. So line item A, as you notice here. Line item B, this is now the text, FYI. The text of this grandchild is this whole thing. Not just this line item B. It's this whole thing. That's why you see all that. Line item 1, which is also, by the way, a UL, LI, LI. It's just the second UL, LI, LI. It's the sub UL under the main UL. So that still counts. Same thing, item 2, line 3, and again, line item C. And that should be it. All right, so we picked up all of this stuff. That's exactly what we wanted it to do. Now you can also do things like, instead of using find, you can be a little more granular and use the word children. Children and find are very, very similar. The difference between find and children is that children is one level down only. One level only. So one generation, not the sub-children, not the grandchildren, okay? So let's try it, and I bet you that's called make sure that that's called children. Yes, it is. And I'm missing, once again, the green squiggly line is telling me that I'm missing a quote. So let's get the children of, what's the requirement here? Show me the children of line item 2, which is this. Children dot add class I might just put down Oprah there instead of orange. All right, let's try that. Show me the children of line item 2. Okay, notice how it only goes one level down. It's not like the find. It's not like the find, which picks up all the children. It only does the one level down of children. Okay? Okay. Similarly, with parent, you could use parent for just as you would use closest, except that it only works on one level up. It doesn't give you everything on top of it. It just gives you one level up. So let's do parent A, click, function, and did I say I wanted li? Show me the parent of line 3. Sorry, we're going for this. So it's a different element. Let's go get the name of that element, which is this one here. And we do not want the children. I'm sorry, it's parent. Show me the parent of line 3. And there you go. Once again, not like closest, which takes you all of them, but parent, which only does the one level above you, your direct parents, your mother and father. However, there is a function called, there's a method called parents, and actually, let's do this so that we don't, just to make sure that that's parents. Yes, it's parents. Okay. Let's see what that does. Every single parent above the element requested. Boy, that's big and orange. All right. So that's the difference between parent and parents. Parent, one level only. And parents, every ancestor. You'll probably use it at some point. It seems like ridiculous here on this page right now. It makes my eyes go screwy. But you'll probably use that at some point. Okay? Next on the list, just like you have parents, you have next and prev. What's next and prev? It's like siblings. So when we were trying to, when we hit up the thing and it only gave me the one thing, it gave me the one line item 2. It didn't give me the line item 1 or 3. Now we can get line item 1 and 3 just using next and prev. It's brothers and sisters, siblings. Okay, so let's try this. First, let's get the name of that. Okay. What's the requirement? Show me the next element after line item A, which is this one right here. Line item A. Let's get the here. Here we go. Next. And then add a class, orange border. Next element after line item A. Let's hope it's line item B, huh? There you go, line item B. And similarly with previous element, it's going to be the same thing. Prev before line item B. There you go. And also, just like this whole kind of next and prev, you have last. I'm pretty sure it's called last A. What's the requirement here? Show me the last item of level 3. Now, we can't see it here because level 3 is the name of a UL. And these are all just line items that are showing up. Again, once again, UL is non-rendering. So let's go get the, let's go take a look at this, revisit our play area. Level 3 is here, this UL, which corresponds to the UL encapsulating this area. Okay, the collection encapsulating that area. So let's go ahead and get the last item in that group, in that collection. Oops. I didn't get the name of that, did I? Oh yeah, I was messing around here. Oh, that's because we don't want to do a click. We just want to get the last. Okay, show me the last item of level 3, which hopefully is line 3. Oh, it's nothing. You know why? Because level 3 is not an LI. Level 3 is a UL. There you go. Oops. I have to pick the last LI. Now, this will work. The last LI item of the UL level 3. And, oh, my syntax is wrong. My apologies. Here we go. UL level 3, give me the last LI in that collection of LIs. Bam! There we go, finally. Whew! All right, that one made me work. All right. Now we're going to start getting some more interesting stuff. It's a little more complicated. That's why I kind of waited for last until. We're going to hit up filters. Kind of important that we use the filter method. Sometimes you're floating around and you know, you have all this stuff. You have all this stuff on your page. In this case, we just have the UL and whatever. But maybe you want this, and you want this, and you want this, and there's no rhyme or reason as to why you want something other than maybe perhaps the verbiage, the color, that it contains an image of some sort, but it doesn't. But it's no rhyme or reason in terms of where they are placed on in your DOM. So there's a thing called filter. Filter's pretty awesome, and not only that, you can functionify the filter. That's just some crazy language saying that instead of doing a bunch of doing the filter several times, you can condense it, like doing a filter, getting the answer, and then doing something to it. You can actually functionify the filter and put it within how you're doing it so that it just kind of flows automatically. And that's just far too much gobbledygook for me for that to be understandable. So let's actually do it, and then maybe that'll clarify it. All right? So the requirement is to show all LIs that have the text line item. Now, as you can see, they all have line item except for this one. Again, no rhyme or reason. I can't sit there and do any of those things I had done previously, or it would take far too long. I can actually just build this into one function, one filtering function. Okay, so I think that's probably called filter A. Yes, it is. Okay, so $J click function okay, so let me find, what is it? Find all the LIs filter it first. Actually, let's do this. We're going to functionify this. Everything on the page, that's a star. It's everything on the page. That includes all that crazy, it includes the header, it includes all that crazy stuff up here that you don't see, it includes the head, blah, 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 blah. More than likely, none of them will have the word LI in there, except for these line items, which actually do say line item. Okay, so let's take everything on the page and filter it. And we're going to do it as a function. So this function, what this function does, it returns all elements. It's going to go through every single element, and it's going to return, just like each, it does a this. So goes through every single element using the this. I'm going to check the text of each element, and actually, you know what? Let's do LI, because we really, really want the LI. Return the element if the text. Now there's a function called index of. Let me just type it and I'll explain what that means. It's greater or equal to 0. I think that's enough parentheses. No, one more. Okay, what index of is it will take whatever text that you have. So say you have the text. So you have that text. When you run an index of, and you say, let's index of it's basically kind of like a substring match. It's going to look for this string inside your main string, and it will return the number, the character position of where it's at. So in this particular case, where this is the string here, and I'm looking for an index of semicolon IA, is here. It's going to return me, this is 0, this is 0, this is 1, This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to return me 7. Okay? Remember, this is 0. JavaScript is zero-based language. So if I actually do this here, for each li, get me the text of each li, see if it has an index of line item, and if it returns 0 or greater, because it could be the very first, could be at the very first position, then return me a true. All right? Filter function, return. Let me just make sure that I am not going insane here. It's actually looking like this. Get rid of that. Turn this text item. Oops, I have an extra one here. Then pass it through the filter. That's what it's saying. If this comes back as true, then pass this through the filter. It becomes one of my accepted elements in the collection. And then I'm going to add a border. Add my border here. And that's it. And that's how you functionify it. All right, let's try it. Show all LIs which have the text line item. There it does. Does every single one except for this, because that does not have the words line item. It only has line. Okay? Similarly, you got to have a not function in here. Let's do not a dot click function. Okay. What's the show me anything without the word item, which would be this and maybe some other stuff. But actually what I really only want to do, I kind of want to restrict it to the LIs, because I already know I don't want to include the header or anything above there. So let's do this. All right, filter function, run it through the filter function of return this if the text has an index of, it's actually, we're doing not, right? We're not doing filter. It's basically the same thing as filter. Not is the same thing as filter, except it's opposite. So it's doing the same. We're doing the same filtering function. Equals 0, and then we're going to add class orange border. Okay, let's try it. Show me anything without the word item. Show me any LI. Actually, that's why I got confused. All right, that didn't work. So let's figure this out. Filter not. Show me the line. How did I break that? I just broke it. Okay, let's see if we can hit up. Let's see if we can hit up Firebug. Oh, it's because I'm missing a missing the end of the paragraph, the end of the parentheses here. That's why we love Firebug. Oh, and there's even a green squiggly line telling me that I've forgotten that. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Show me all LIs which have the text line item. Show me anything without the word item. Now, if you notice, that popped open, but it didn't get rid of the previous. Orange border. So let's add something in there. Let's also say that all items on the page let's do a filter function again. And we're going to check if it has an orange border. If it has an orange border, we're going to take it off first. So it looks a little bit better. So return J this dot has class. So if it has an orange border, then return it as one of my accepted items through the filter. Okay? And remove the ugly damn thing. Remove class orange border. All right? I think my parentheses are correct on that. All right, let's try it. So show me all LIs which have the text line item. Nope, I'm missing a thing as this squiggly has so told me so. Filter. Because I need to do something like this. Excuse me. I forgot to put the function in here. And actually, I want the index just in case. Okay. So we already know that works. Show all LIs which have the text line item. And when I hit this, what it's going to first do, it's going to first remove all orange borders on the page. And then it's going to give me everything that does not have line item. Okay? All LIs, I'm sorry, which does not have line item in it. Perfect. So that totally works. And if we go back to here, this, show me the parents, this craziness, let's make the clear button since we know how to do it now. I'm pretty sure it's clear a dot click. Okay. It's basically this thing. We're going to filter through every element on the page. And if it has an orange border, we're going to take it off. Okay. Bam. Nasty. Unnasty. So there you have it. Traversing through some of the elements. Some of the traversing of the elements in the DOM. Now, if you once again, go to jQuery.com and you go through the documentation, you'll find there are a lot of other traversing methods that you can use. I only picked a few, the ones that I use all the time. And again, that's just because I use them all the time doesn't mean you have to use them all the time. You'll find which ones suit your programming sensibility. So I invite you to go explore, have fun, go crazy, get wild, have a good time. See you next time.